Morning. Happy Hump Day. Happy Hump Day. Looks like all the buttons are doing what buttons are supposed to do when we click them. I'm Valerie Shepherd. I'm coming to you live from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And I am very glad to be here. I'm wishing you a happy, healthy Wednesday. And I'm really pleased to be able to connect with you this morning. So happy Hump Day. We're having another one of those happy chats from the Hartley Center where we talk about mindfulness and self-mastery. So self-mastery is mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. And wow, oh, wow. The times they are changing. I keep thinking of all these like platitudes and song lyrics, and the more things change, the more they stay the same. And wow, the wow is for man, what on earth is going on in the world today? The world today. It's quite a time. It's quite a dynamic time. And I don't know where you are with all this, but and I have been in this space of dancing with frustration and anger and sadness and a lot of fear is coming up, a lot of fear. And I find myself sometimes just like that, like a partial numbness, while at the same time there's a like whiskey tango foxtrot, like what's going on? How did this world being the part of the world that I inhabit, like my world, how did my world get spinning so out of control? And there's a feeling that almost from any vantage point, any angle that I look at, any angle that I look, any lens through which I look, what I'm seeing feels heavy, feels shocking, feels difficult, feels dark. It's troubling. In today's Happy Chat, I was going to talk about something completely different. And so I've moved that topic to next week. And today it just feels appropriate to stop and take a moment and honor where we might be, regardless of what political side of the spectrum you're on. That's not what this is about. Because what I'm seeing is that it doesn't matter what side you're on. There is some anguish and some hurting going on out there. Good morning. Thank you for joining. So happy to see you. There's some anguish and some sadness going on out there. And I want to honor that. And so I called this one Hump Day Happy Chat. Healing a troubled heart, holding a troubled heart is what I really want to say. Holding a troubled heart. And what I know from my own experience and people I've worked with and spoken with, my beautiful students, we are very much conditioned to just move through it as rapidly as we can, get back up, get back on the horse. Where whenever there's like trouble, difficulty, maybe the opportunity for failure, we're conditioned from a very young age with that fighting spirit, so to speak. This is a learned tendency to brush past it, turn away from it. I can't, no, turn away from it and keep going along our way. And the only problem that might present with actually dealing with it, so holding that heart, with actually dealing with it, dancing with it, being in it, seeing it, loving it. The only problem might be that when we do that, we're sort of not really dealing with it. And when I look all around me and even in me, there are aspects of undealt with pain, undealt with shame, blame, guilt, punishment, anxiety, anguish. There's undealt with remnants of energy that are stuck. They're not moving. And I hypothesize and offer to you, I encourage and invite you to like take this within your own experience and take a look at, are you doing uh, what Winston Churchill talked about? I love this quote from him that talks about the bypass behavior. And he says, everyone stumbles over the truth from time to time. The problem is they quickly pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and hurry along as if nothing happened. So, in the model of living happy to be me, scurrying along, jumping over or sidestepping or ignoring like an upset in our hearts is tantamount to doing a spiritual bypass. So, spiritual bypass, that term was first introduced in the 1980s or 1980 by a Buddhist teacher, psychotherapist named John Wellwood. And in the living happy to be vernacular, this is kind of a tendency to use spiritual principles and ideas and practices to avoid facing an unresolved emotional issue, psychological wound, or unfinished business, like unfinished, um, let's say, personal development business. So here's the way I invite you to think about it. Anything in your experience that rivets you, that like especially on the negative side, that rivets you, that makes it hard for you to get up in the morning, that has, well, for me, it has had me screaming at the TV. What? You know, watching something like, you're got to be kidding me. I can't believe he's okay. So I can't believe he said that. Right. So when that level of what the comes up, it might be talking to you, about you, from you, to you, for you. Like, I truly believe everything in our lives is speaking to us specifically. My life is talking to me, it's unfolding for me to achieve my highest potential, for me to experience my highest good, for me to dance in my deepest and highest joy, for me to laugh, like really laugh from the deep pit of my belly. I really truly believe that and live that way. And that's what my teachings and living happy to be me principles are about, is doing that. So when in the midst of living my life, the things in my life are talking to me at like loud levels, or they're triggering, boom, they're triggering something popping off in me. Whoopsie daisies. I'm popping off some anger right now. I'm popping off some, you know, in the last week with some of the things I've watched and read and heard, I think I've been popping off some hate. I know I've been popping off some deep wounds, some racial wounds, some wounds that are, I don't even know how to say it, wounds that are related to racial inequality. That's the way I'll say it right now. Racism, racial inequality, what I see, what I've experienced on my own. Oh, I can feel it, but it's much quieter. Yay. Transformation has happened. So when we can feel that, I'm going to call it pain, when we can feel that unresolved emotional trauma popping off to see us. And I'm going to put a little side note in here. If you're feeling deep feelings of anguish and sadness and uh, uh, like you can't go on and feelings of depression, a Hump Day Happy Chat may not be all you need. And I encourage and invite you to seek a greater help, whether that's psychology, whether that's an emergency room, whether that's a depression or suicide hotline. There are so many resources. There is no need to suffer in silence or to try and go it alone. So decide, choose to love yourself into healing, into a healed state, a transformed state by accessing resources that are available to you. I encourage and invite you, I pray for you to do that. Meanwhile, back in this conversation around how do you hold a troubled heart? And I'm not talking healing right now, I'm talking in the midst of the troubled moment. You're staring at the TV, you're listening to a conversation, you're having a conversation, and it's troubling you. How do you hold the troubles in your heart? How do you have those troubles, experience those troubles without having them overwhelm your precious heart, without having them knock you off your center, knock you off kilter, stomp all over you? I want to refer you to Hump Day Happy Chat 81. I also go through some of these steps in a little different way in Hump Day Happy Chat 81 called The Only Way Out is Through. So, this one, how do you hold a troubled heart? Now, there is biblical teaching on this. Um, I am a, you know, I'm an all faiths, many paths, one divine. So I'm an all faiths person. So I didn't look up how Buddha talks about this, but I know that Yeshua had a profound teaching in the Gospel of John. It was related in the Last Supper conversations of Yeshua to the disciples. And it's recorded in the biblical text as John 14:1. Let not your heart be troubled. So the whole idea is that you address this with the heart, right? With the heart and with your whole countenance of love and faith, your whole countenance of love and faith. So in the reference of John 14:1, Yeshua was talking about some trouble coming, right? It hadn't all come yet. It was explaining to them what was about to happen with his arrest and crucifixion. And so giving them some presage, some yucky stuff is about to happen, and I want you to be prepared. So, in the midst of it, when you think about Yeshua, in the Hebrew definition of heart, there's the definition means the entire inner person, which in the Hebrew teaching means the mind, the will, and the heart. The heart being seen as the seat of decisions from which actions flow. Why is my center called the Heartly Center? Why was my business originally called the Heart of Living Vibrantly? why am I a heart math student and practitioner? Because I believe in the heart as the center of the human experience, the center of the soul, seat of the soul, and the center of the spiritual integrated human experience. And so in Hebrew teachings, the heart is bigger than just an organ that beats your blood through your body. That's the physical. But when we talk about integrated spiritual human person, then it's more than that, so much more than that. And so, this lesson around how can I hold a troubled heart, a hurting heart, a sad heart? It's a both and equation. It's not one or the other. And what we're taught is sort of one or the other. Get over the hurt and go do something else, you know? I don't know how many of you have heard things like stop that crying, or I'll give you something to cry about when you were little, or um, come on, pick yourself up and get on with your business. It's time to let that go now and get on with it. Come on, it's time to let that go now and get on with it. Get on with it. Buck up. Come on. Don't cry. Everything will be okay. Stop crying. It's okay. You don't have to cry. So there are many, many ways, and this is not about making someone wrong and me right. That's not what this is about. This is about asking you and encouraging you and inviting you to notice that you may have old patterns of conditioned behavior and response to situations that don't actually support you to live in your happiness, to create the space for happiness to explode into your life, and to experience it as coexisting, coexisting with the not so wonderful stuff. And it truly can. You can laugh in the midst of sadness. It's a part of moving grief. You can cry in the midst of happiness. It's a natural outpouring of the expression. You can sing and dance as a way to move the energy of pain and sadness. Remember this: there is a universal law of resistance. And the law of resistance states resisting the energy keeps it in your energy field. This law states whatever you resist persists. Whatever you resist persists. Whatever you resist persists. So that energy that you're trying so hard not to experience is getting stuck in you. It's still there trying to get your attention. So if it's in your energy field, that means it's in your vibration. If it's in your vibration, that means you have to attract things that match that vibrational frequency. So holding a troubled heart is about allowing that trouble to be expressed, even as you are the container that makes it okay and loves it in the process. So here's a way to be with the trouble. Instead of trying not to feel it, do everything you can to allow it to flow through you, not to come into you and sit there, but to flow through like a wave. Emotions are just waves of energy. We need not fear them. We need to flow them. So go into your trouble, take a step towards it, that troubled feeling, make friends with it. For the ever since for this entire year, for several months, well, now we're in 2021, but for all of 2020, I was in a act of befriending my um, unhealed wounds around racial injustice, racial inequality, racism that I had experienced in my life. The idea that I was not enough because I'm Black, like that has been moving through me, in me, in a way that I wasn't even sure I could handle it. Thank goodness for my spiritual teachers and colleagues and um, love bugs who have been walking the journey with me, not the least of which, of course, is the divine, the most powerful of which is the divine. Allowing me to befriend this pocket of pain, or several, several pockets of pain, allowing me to befriend it and therefore get comfortable in it, know that it's not real and true. It's not really me. It's not necessarily what's happening at this moment. And to love it into submission, to love it into movement. So I can still feel it, but not with the pounding, riveting, God, it's not that anymore. It's more of a, yes, I know. I feel you. Yes, I know. It's a both and. We love it into expansion and movement so that the energy that it carries dissipates. When we stop resisting and befriend our wounds, our troubles, our anxieties, our question marks, when we befriend them and go deeper into them, we actually take the heaviness out. We take the jarringness out. We take the shockingness of the energy out. It dissipates, it flows. I encourage you to see if you can open yourself to the beauty of the pain, the beauty of the anguish. For me, the beauty of the things I'm learning about myself are that I'm still here. I'm still being loved by the divine. I'm still being supported by the divine. I can still, in my faith and trust, know that all is well, even while I'm sitting here in something that doesn't feel so good at any given moment. Relax your muscles while you're there and just allow it to wash over you, like standing under the shower, just having the riplets of water, the little beats of water, just kind of hit you and continue on. Hit you and continue on. Flow the energy of the pain. In heart math, there is a practice called a heart soak. And I encourage and invite you to do a heart soak. You can do it for a minute. That's more like a freeze frame, but you could do it for a minute. Or if you have, when you have more time, and when you have more time, add more time. You just take your breathing into your heart, call in that pain, that wound, that anguish, that trouble, that intolerance, that frustration, that annihilation energy, that kill or be killed energy, that how dare you do that to me energy, that look how those people are wrong and I'm right energy. Like, take that energy into the heart, the seat of the soul, the palace of will and love and mind, the inner person of you. Take it all in there and soak it in love. Hold it in gratitude. Be with it in a harmonious dance of peace, and allow that peace to erupt throughout your body, mind, beingness. You win when you make it a both and equation. You win when you allow it to flow while you make choices for how you want to move from this moment to the next. It's how you be living happy to be me. It's how you be in the midst of what you don't understand, don't like, don't want, and still hold peace and happiness alongside it. as you continue on your journey, as you continue to create the long term peace in you that can emanate from you, that can support you so it's for you. Hold your troubled heart and hold your troubles in your heart in love. Many blessings. And as I always do, I'm going to close today's Hump Day Happy Chat with the Karanaya Metta Sutra, the prayer of loving kindness from the Buddha. I encourage and invite you to memorize this, to keep it in your heart all day long. We need more loving kindness on the planet today. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken, wake up to the light of their true nature. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And may all beings be free. I'm Valerie Shepard from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. Help me spread the messages of mastery, mastering you in your life so you can exquisitely manage whatever your life sends your way by sharing this with your tribe. Many blessings. Bye now. See you next time.